Hello my crafty friend, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. Instead of flipping through a junk journal, I am going to share with you this little package of happiness that came to me today from France. So I sometimes have people ask where I source my materials, especially the antique papers and vintage ephemera that I work with. And it's hard to give a specific answer because, of course, I find things in my local antique shops and thrift shops and estate sales and from multiple different Etsy sellers. But my latest discovery, and I've probably been under a rock for many years, probably some of you already know about her, but my newest discovery is Sarah, who's a different Sarah, obviously, whose YouTube channel is called Crafty Paper Bits. She makes really cool journals in a style kind of similar to Maria at J'adore le papier, if you've seen her work. I love her stuff. But anyway, Sarah has an Instagram shop called Petit Papier Shop, and it is at Petit Papier Shop on Instagram. And anyway, she does live sales similar to I Am Mr. Cup and other sellers there. And yeah, last month I overindulged and purchased quite a few of her really cool paper offerings. And oh, I guess I should have had this package this way so it all fits on frame. Anyway, this is what I ordered from her. And there were some other things too, but they were separate and I didn't want to give my address away to the whole internet, so I took it out of the envelope. But this will be a bit of a surprise for me as I go through these items because, as we tend to do, I don't remember every little thing that I ordered. But I wanted to share with you just how beautifully, here, let me get the plastic away first. There we go. I wanted to share with you just how beautifully she packages her items, and you know I'm going to use this as a journal closure, this beautiful ribbon that she's tied everything with. So anyway, I ordered these things to add some beautiful, authentic, aged ephemera into the junk journals that I make and sell. And also, of course, some of them will be scanned and included in printable kits. So let's start with these goodies up top here. And these are, I think they are Italian, just some really cool vintage tags that she was selling as a lot. These, of course, I'm going to use as they are in junk journals. The same way that I often use my beautiful purple Sri Lankan train tickets. Oh yeah, see, there's just something nostalgic about the look of these old tickets and tags. You know, they're reminiscent of going to a dry cleaner and pulling the number and waiting to be called, or taking a voyage by train if you've ever had the pleasure of doing so. So those are going to be fun to use, especially in the tall journals kind of tucked in. And let's see what these little goodies are. See how she packages things so beautifully. I always try not to rip the paper that she wraps around the items because it can definitely be given a second use, maybe made into a pocket or used as a delicate page in a journal. Like a free gift with purchase. These beautiful aged old book pages. L'anniversaire. So it's a book called The Anniversary. So, oh yeah, this was a lot of vintage French prayer cards, vintage and antique, and really cool to see the original handwriting. 1934. I love this image. Souvenir de ma première communion, faite dans l'église de l'Abbaye, le 15 juillet 1934. So, souvenir of my first communion, made in the Church of the Abbaye, 15th of July, 1934, as you can see. Anyway, I purchased this lot specifically because I saw among the cards a card of Saint Bernadette of Lourdes. Look at that pretty embossed and gilding. Here it is. And I went to a French Catholic school growing up, and so I remember very vividly being told about her story. She was a little girl who went for a walk with her siblings one day, and she was a peasant girl, so not educated, not considered intellectually gifted by any means. Oh, I love this one. I'm planning to do a printable kit of antique Mary images too. Notre Dame de Lourdes. Oh, that's cool. Our Lady of Lourdes. So that's the Lourdes temple there. Not temple, sorry. Church. Anyway, back to the little story. Yeah, Saint Bernadette, she was a little girl, not fully educated, but when she went out with her siblings into a field one day, in a grotto, in kind of a rocky alcove, she saw a woman appear, and the woman told her that she could heal her eyesight if she dug into the dirt and brought forth water and washed her eyes with that water. And so she did, and went back home very muddy and very dirty, and got very much in trouble for digging in the mud. And when she told her parents what had happened, they told the church authorities, and the church authorities accused her of lying, of heresy, of, claiming that she had a Marian vision, even though she didn't use that word in her description of her experience. But anyway, she was put to the test. The villagers followed her back to the spot and were astonished to see that a spring had appeared where she had dug in the ground in a place that had previously been dry. And so they were all believers, but word got back to the Vatican, and they were still highly suspicious of Saint Bernadette. And so they sent somebody to authenticate her experience, as if it's some stuffy, doubtful man's right, right, to question the experience of a young girl, but that was the world back then. So they sent a church authority to test her, and she was told to ask the lady, if the lady appeared to her again, "Who are you?" And when she did that, the lady replied, "I am the Immaculate Conception." And interestingly, the Vatican had recently passed a law decreeing that Mary had been conceived in an Immaculate Conception, and that they were later that year going to announce that to the public. However, at that point in time, it was still unknown to anybody outside of that hierarchy. And so for this uneducated little peasant girl who, had absolutely no connections in the church, to come up with that on her own would have been impossible. And so they deemed it a miracle and a real vision. Belief aside, like whether you believe in that or not, I think it's a really cool story of innocence overcoming authoritative scrutiny. And for that reason, I just love Saint Bernadette. And of course, I love the Divine Feminine as represented in all world religions. I love Kali and Saraswati in Hinduism, all the different divine goddesses. Kuan Yin in Buddhism, the Bodhisattva of compassion. But anyway, I've been thinking of doing a journal inspired by divine femininity, and possibly including some feminine saints like Bernadette and Saint Joan of Arc. The other package had some really cool Joan of Arc stuff. But also including Lakshmi for wealth, and Saraswati for wisdom, and Kuan Yin for compassion, and also Mother Mary. So yeah, let me know if you'd be interested in something like that. These are really cool. They're embossed pharmacy prescription envelopes that are very old. I ordered two, one to add to my ephemera collection and one to use in a junk journal to sell. But look at this, 92 Rue d'Aboukir, Paris. By the way, I have been Googling the addresses printed on some of this ephemera because I'm curious like that to see the storefront or like the location of the place the ephemera comes from. I highly recommend you do that too because, oh my god, like some of the architecture is just mind-blowingly beautiful from these addresses on antique and vintage ephemera. And just imagine, this is so old that a téléphone, like a phone number in Paris at that time, was only 4 digits. 5613. How many digits is a Parisian phone number now? Who knows? Anyway, some postcards. I just love the little costume they dress this kid in. I don't usually use photographs. Usually I prefer illustrations or paintings. But yeah, her little, she's got a look on her face that says like, are you for real? Like, this is what you make me wear? But I do a lot of peacock themed journals, and there's like a peacock illustrated on her tunic. So that's going to go in a future peacock journal. And then I picked out quite a few postcards that say Vive Saint Cécile, and Saint Cecilia is the patron saint of music. So I'm going to eventually do a music-themed journal and a music-themed printable kit, and I'll include scans of all of these in the music kit, and some of the originals in the journal I make. These three, the girl is wearing my favorite dress of all time. Look at that flapper era, vibrant blue, and obviously the photographer took the picture in black and white, but then they colorized it and gave it kind of a, like, these were Instagram filters before Instagram could even have been a far-fetched future imagination for people. It's just so cool to see. And you can tell that it's colorized black and white by the color differences between the two. Like, see how in this one it's kind of a vibrant azure blue in her dress, and then in that one it's more of a muted turquoisey green, and then we have like the royal blue velvet here versus that peacock green velvet sash there. They're just so much fun. So anyway, yeah, I couldn't resist these postcard lots. And I just love the fact that they're all used. Like, they're stamped, they're addressed, thanks to services or infringements on our privacy, depending on how we see them, like Google Earth. We can now do Google searches of those addresses and see the actual locations. I believe these were freebies. So in one of her Instagram stories, Sarah had mentioned that she had some postcards that are very heavily water damaged and not usable, and asked if anybody would be able to use them. And I said, if nobody else wants them, I'm sure I can. Yeah, that's these ones. And yeah, she said she would set a few aside for me. So I think everyone who commented on that was lucky enough to receive some free, damaged but still gorgeous, like, look at this one, damaged postcards. So thank you very much, Sarah. It's always nice to get a free gift with purchase. Yeah, look at this one. Like, some of the elements have broken off over the years. It's got water damage, but for us antique ephemera lovers and junk journal artists, sometimes that grungy, damaged paper is even more beautiful than the perfect stuff because it has that patina. You can see how old it is. Really cute. So you can expect to see these used in future journals. Oh, and these are exciting. So I told her that one of the journals I'm planning to make in the future is an Egyptian theme. And she told me that she just so happens to have some Egyptian postcards. And she was generous enough to throw those in too. So wow, I've never seen the pictures of these before. I just love the stamps on this one. The pyramid and the Sphinx. I bought a set. No, I didn't buy it. Okay, years ago, I signed up for Post Crossing. If you've never heard of it, but you wish you received more physical mail, go sign up for it. Post Crossing is a thing where you sign up for it. It's a website. You put in your address, your whatever biographical details you're comfortable with, and then you request the address of some random person somewhere in the world. You can choose to do it by your country only, where you send postcards to and receive postcards from only people in the country where you live, or you can select for it to be global. I always did it globally. But anyway, yeah, I once had a postcard from a person in Egypt, and he read my biography on the Post Crossing site and saw that I love, you know, unique stamps from around the world. And instead of just a postcard, he included a little packet of about 10 Egyptian stamps. But they were all just faces of politicians. Like, there were no actual old temples or old hieroglyphs or old, you know, paintings of royalty like these. So, wow, Sarah, I am so excited about these ones. Talking to her as if she's going to watch this video, which she probably won't. You know, it might be boring to see all ephemera that you already know what it is, but yeah, I will send her a special thank you for these babies. Those are going to look so cool in the Egyptian journal. But those might be my favorite stamps of all. I can't scan and sell these images as printables because they are modern copyright, so they would not be public domain yet. However, the canceled stamps and the backs of the postcards are definitely fair game to use because it's like an altered collage. Since the stamps have cancellation marks, it makes them unique pieces. So I might just have to include these postcard backs in that printable kit, and then I'll go through my Egyptology books and try to find some old pictures from Egypt, or maybe I'll create some new ones made to look old to be the postcard fronts. But anyway, that's going to be exciting. So yeah, oh yeah, we saw these ones already. Okay, this piece here, very, very fun. This is a music book that is entirely handwritten. So these lines would have been printed on the paper, but either a music student or a composer, I don't know if there's a date on it. No, I don't think it's dated, but I do believe Sarah listed this as antique. Yeah, it was either hand transcribed or handwritten. Étude en fa majeur. So you know do, re, mi, fa. That must mean study in fa major. I don't know my notes, so I'm not sure what that would translate to. Oh yeah, étude en ré majeur. So study in re major. Very cool. Look at the way they draw their treble clefs. I recently saw an Instagram post showing the ways different famous composers throughout music history have written their treble clefs. And they all looked terrible, except for Debussy, who wrote beautiful treble clefs. And look at this. I do believe this is also a bonus. The Encyclopedia of Useful Knowledge. Encyclopédie des connaissances utiles. So that's really cool. That's going to go in my Egypt journal. So cool. You know what? I try to do the same sort of a thing when I have an Etsy sale. Not the printables, obviously, but when I sell a physical item, I like to snoop the favorites in that customer's Etsy profile if he or she has favorited anything. And if I have anything that suits their favorite themes, oh, those are gorgeous. I throw them in as extras because I personally feel like every time you order something, it should be like opening a Happy Mail. And that's how it feels opening this bundle. So I had purchased a bundle of antique and vintage ephemera, kind of in a blue tone. So this one has a blue stamp. This one is written in blue ink. Very obvious where the blue is on this one. So gorgeous. So I'm definitely going to do a French blue printable kit where I'll scan the best of these pieces into. The 1st November 1908. So cool. Some of these must be extras because I don't remember seeing these ones. I love that. Just the shade of blue of this paper and the way usually we see antique things darken around the edges, but because it's a blue, it has lightened around the edges. They don't make a distress ink that lightens the paper, do they? That might be something they should. Oh, really cool pattern paper. It's thicker than I thought it would be. Very, very neat. But yeah, these are all going to go into future junk journals that I make. And there's a newer one, 1972. Wow, okay. So there is some tea being spilled here. Like if I'm translating this correctly, I was deliriously surprised to learn that you're contesting the sale for which you freely consented after a long discussion and you signed. My health has been affected. Wow, I'll read that in full later, but I won't include that in the printable kit because that's pretty negative. Some poor artist or artisan had somebody try to breach their contract. Very interesting. Ooh, look at that's exciting. These are genuine vintage or antique. Oh, vintage, 1972. Look at those rusty paper clips. And those aren't like the kind of paper clips we get today. I've never seen paper clips with pointed ends. And cool that they're two different sizes too. Yet those are original to this paper because you can see the rust marks on it. And this one is held together with a pin, as they used to do. 1954. 1958, that's the year my mom was born. That's pretty cool. There's a big watermark in the center. Beautiful blue handwriting on this one. 1926. That'll be 100 years old next year. How cool is that? Another rusty pin in this one. Very cool. Neat how all the handwriting is different. This looks almost like I had friends in high school whose handwriting looked almost just like that. And the letter stapled to its original envelope. Look at how tiny that little staple is. I hope I'm not boring you all to tears as I pause to get a closer look at every single little thing in here. So this would be another packet that I ordered. And again, she's wrapped it in some beautiful free with purchase book page. And you know I will save and use those too. So There's a very antique photo, color fading. And another one. I might set those aside. I have a couple other really old photos that I might either list in my Etsy shop or include with somebody's Happy Mail if they like them. Oh yeah, this was the purple pack. Look at that gorgeous iris from 1905. I thought this was super adorable. Somebody made a cut paper little miniature church. Very cute. And the purple ink. I just love the stamps. One of the other printable kits I'm working on, I've already started it by scanning some of my older French documents from previous purchases I've made, but I'm going to do a kit of French documents, and it will include like the full scans of these, but I'll also do a couple of pages of just the stamps, like a page full of stamps so that you can print those out and cut them and use them in collages. Look at this one with her Liberty spikes. And of course we all know the Statue of Liberty was made in France as a gift from France to the United States. So it's kind of cool to see what we think of iconographically. Is that a word? Iconographically? What we think is a symbol of America might well actually be a symbol of France. Those liberties, this is going to be such a cool journal page. Lots of writing space, and then this cool purple handwritten chart. That'll have to go in that document printable too. And I just love this one, cotton rag paper. Most of you probably already know this, but I'm vegan. I went vegan in 1999, and for that reason I very, very, very strongly avoid buying things like leather or the kind of parchment that was made out of skin. And so whenever I look at these old documents, I try to make sure it's not sheepskin, but cotton rag like this. And I just love the feeling of cotton rag. Oh, it's just so nice to the touch. And I love the colors of these too. This will be too large for the scan bed that I use at my mom's house, where I go to scan all of my documents. So I'll have to take this one to the professional place, but I think it will be well worth the investment because I don't dare cut it apart and tear up the pages. I think it's too precious. But yeah, the color is stunning. Kind of like an aquamarine, light aqua blue. Oh, and this is just huge. Navigational and with some pictures of dancers. Oh, am I going to, oh no, it's off camera. There's a very, very, very naked lady just off where you can't see. So I'm not going to flip through this one on camera, just in case there's anybody underage watching the video. I don't need to get canceled on YouTube. Look at this. I love this color too. This one I'll also have to get scanned at the professional shop. So beautiful. I won't scan every page. I'll just pick out the prettiest images and scan as desired. Those are gorgeous medallion profiles. They make me think of that artist whose channel is called The Paper Cameo because they're cameos printed on paper. Oh, I was hoping I would get this one. She had shown, I think she had 10 for sale and it was priced for one. You'd get one at random. And I looked at one and one of them had a picture of little cherubs playing with birdies. And I thought, oh, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, I should ask for that one. But I decided to leave it up to fate. But how cool. This was the one I was hoping for. La Renaissance de la gravure sur bois. So the Renaissance of the something on wood. I'll have to look up what gravure means. But really cool old world architecture and statues. Just beautiful patina on these old pages. Actualité, actualities. Fun magazine, and I believe these were only €5 each, if I remember correctly, which is darn close to $5 US. So having authentic, genuine French vintage ephemera, antique in this case, 1913, it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. And I think this was my last purchase. The last day that she had listings for the month was a big bundle of antique book pages. Oh yay, look at this. Ooh, maybe this means I'll have to do another space themed journal and scan that for another printable kit. Anyway, great book pages to use, cool old illustrations, but the one I love best is this one, looking at the moon and the stars through a telescope. And of course I picked this set because of the cherubs and the lady writing on her tablet. Was I out of frame that whole time? I hope you saw it. But yeah, just some great old French book pages, which is perfect because I'm nearing the end of my stash of old French book pages. I got lucky at a local antique store a few years ago when I was new to junk journals, and I found 3 antique French playbooks, and they were only $1 a piece, probably because they'd sat there for a long time, waiting for someone who speaks French. They might not sit there for a long time anymore if these junk journal things are taking off the way they seem to be online. I love the border around this picture. That's a fun one. Yeah, so I don't need to go through all of this for you to see, but different thicknesses of paper. This is like some old cotton rag paper. Quite a few with illustrations. Nice. And then last but not least, oh, maybe this was the folder of blue colored ephemera stuff. Yeah, and you can just see how great this will look added into journals. Look at that lady sitting under her tree. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in to this little unboxing. This is going to make a great corner tuck spot in something. Ooh, a beautiful page out of an old missal. I just love old religious art. Cool blue envelope. Oh yeah. Yeah, the French blue printable kit will have lots and lots and lots of this stuff. This was a page from one of those postcard booklets. Very pretty. It's neat seeing these old celebrity magazines from the era before colored print had taken off. Wow, gorgeous illustration there. Maybe I'll have to have that professionally scanned too. Yeah, just lovely. An old menu card. Yay, it's blank. Sometimes I avoid getting the old menu cards because I don't want to see meat listed, but that's a nice blank one. Very cool. I started to say my goodbyes, like thank you for watching, but there's just so much more to go through. I don't want you to miss anything. Don't think I'll use this military stuff. So what I'll do is I'll add that to these old photographs and start that as a little pile. Maybe I'll have to do a giveaway. Another prize draw. Ooh, I love this. Antique French wallpaper. Look at the patina on the back. The front looks like it's brand new, but the back shows its age. That will definitely get included in the printable kit. Let's add that to the giveaway. Nothing against little boys, but I'd rather see pictures of the girls because that's where you get the gorgeous fabrics and jewelry, the cool fashions. Wow, 1939. The Summer Sky. Ciel d'été. And what is this? It's a, oh, you know what this is? It is a list of all the days of all the saints. So janvier is January. Un is the first. So Monday, January 1st in 1962, it was the celebration of the circumcision, I think, circoncision. Then Saint Basil, Saint Geneviève, Saint Rigobert, Saint Amélie, then Epiphany Day. Anyway, how cool is that? A list of every single saint. You know, I have a mini book that I scanned to turn into a printable kit where all the different saint days are listed. But for each month, there's also an illustration of the zodiac sign ruling the month. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I guess I'll have two of those because I'll scan this to include in my French blue printable set. I should get on that and finish and publish that Saints Day booklet printable. The one I just worked on earlier today, I did the editing. Ooh, look at the color on the back. Like, I need to start scanning the backs of things too because just that beautiful blue faded around the edges would make a great printable. But anyway, the print, I don't know when I'm going to publish this video. So you've probably already seen the thing I did earlier today. I finished work on, it was very laborious, a printable kit of, it's pretty, a couplet for a boat ride. A printable kit of a salesman's sample packet of Victorian calling cards. It took a lot of formatting and then redoing and reformatting and printing and realizing the sizes didn't match and then back to the design board and reprinting again. I think I printed out 3 failed attempts before I finally got the one that fits properly, that became the Etsy listing. So that's why sometimes it takes me a while between getting the ephemera and creating the printable kit, is that it's a little bit worky for someone like me who is not the greatest technologically savvy person to figure out how to get it all oriented on the pages. I adore this. Too bad it's 1949, so it's still under copyright law for about another decade. But 10 years from now, if I'm still at it, that will become a printable. Because how pretty is this? Secretary taking notes on her old-timey typewriter. Oh, those pages are not stuck together. They're attached on purpose. Wow. Cool illustrations. Vin de Bordeaux. Bordeaux wine. That makes me think of Maria, whose channel is called J'adore le papier. I think I saw a preview, short video she posted a couple of days ago that she's working on another Bordeaux wine journal. Carly's. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, maybe that'll make it into my music-themed printable kit. Do we see a date? Maybe you do, but I do not see a date on this. Interesting how it belonged to one person, then got scratched out, and then Roger got it. Roger. Very fun. Ooh, another little snippet of antique wallpaper. That will also have to get made into the printable kit. I could see printing out a full page of these and then maybe printing them on washi tape paper, which is a thing that exists now. It's a little expensive, but imagine printing out a page of these strips on washi paper, cutting them out, and then having a never-ending supply of your own like antique silver blue French washi paper. I think I'll have to design a washi paper, a washi tape printable kit where it's like pages and pages of antique things turned into washi tapes. If I've mentioned in this video any particular kit that you personally would be interested in, let me know in a comment, because these are all spontaneous ideas, and I would hate to get somebody's hopes up and then never actually make the kit. So you can be my little reminder. Very fun. Yeah, I'll definitely have to do a music themed journal. I'm planning to do a journal about architecture. One of the things I found in a local antique shop is a big giant fold out blue page of an architect's draft for a building. And so I want to do an architecture themed journal that can go into. And also the French Book of Saints Days printable that I told you about actually came out of an architect and engineer's guidebook from 1912 from France. So I'd like to use the cover of that little book as like a mini wraparound cover over an architecture themed book. But yeah, I think this will go beautifully in that. And then again, maybe I'll have to design a printable kit of architecture to accompany that journal using some of the antique building and castle pictures. You didn't see the castle pictures. Those were in the package I opened off camera. But it'll be nice to have some of the ephemera saved as a surprise. Orchestra. The Edward Mungy Orchestra. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh yeah, 1938. So that is still a ways away from becoming public domain, but one day that will go into a printable kit. Oh, and it sounds like my guy is just getting home as I reach the very last piece. How perfect is that timing? Wow. Now that is some stunning nature photography right there. So, oh, it flips like this. It's printed upside down, flip-floppy paper. But anyway, I will say goodbye for now. Happy crafting. Thank you so much for watching this little unboxing. Merci beaucoup à Sarah de Le Petit Papier shop. And we'll see you in the next video. Happy crafting. Much love to you. Bye for now.